Hey, welcome back everybody. Today, again, a little bit different, but we're going to be sharpening some knives. I've got, well, several of my knives here that are in need of some sharpening. This here is a Shun knife, S-H-U-N. These are some very expensive knives. I love these things. I've owned them now for about 3 years. They were razor sharp when I bought them. I have cut all kinds of stuff with them. We use them in the kitchen all the time. They're great knives, but after 3 years of never being sharpened, it's time for a fresh edge. On top of that, well, I have my pocket knife I carry with me every day, all day, wherever I go. If I forget it, I feel like I'm naked. I love this little knife. This is a SOG, S-O-G knife, and my son's got one too. So both of them are pretty dull. So we're going to sharpen these up along with this knife here. This is my hunting knife. This is a Puma knife. These are German-made, handmade, very, very nice knives. If I can find some links for any of this stuff, I'll leave them down below. I'm very happy with all these knives, but as any knife goes, you got to sharpen them from time to time. So the question's been posed before: what do I sharpen? How do I sharpen them? What do I use? And I've tried all kinds of stuff. I have probably fallen prey to every knife sharpening gimmick on the market. I've bought them all, and 99% I've thrown in the trash because they just don't really work that well. So what do I use? Well, I use a whetstone, or often referred to as a Japanese whetstone. To polish them off, I use 3 grades of leather, from kind of a veg tan right down to a suede. These work great to just give it that final mirror polish on the blade edge. They work great. So this here is a whetstone. There's actually 2 stones in here, 3 different grits, and what you do is you soak them in water for a couple hours at least, and well, let's just jump right in and see how these things work. All right, pull up a chair, get comfortable. This is a 1000 and a 6000 grit. The darker one is 1000, the lighter side is 6000. We're going to start obviously with the heavier one. Now, this little honing stone here is 8000, but we're going to use that later on. So all I want to do is make sure I get some water here, find my edge. I try really hard to make sure I pass the whole stone here. That way I'm not winding up with grooves in it or a big trough in the center. Flip this over. It's nice to have a little stand and a rubber mat too, just because, well, things slide around a little bit. Takes a little time to get used to this with the angle of the blade, with the bevel, actually I should say, with the blade. Trying to figure out where that is. Now I like to take the little honing stone here, 8000 grit, and just very, very gently polish the edge here. Flip it around. Just almost no pressure at all. You're just polishing. Make sure you keep your fingers out of the way. I've done this before where I've just come right across and cut my finger. Now, when you're done with that, what I like to do is just take these 3 different straps here. Just run this blade across that strop. And down to the next grade, which is more of a suede, but not totally a suede. And then onto the final one, which is completely suede. So take yourself some printer paper, And you should be able to just slice this up real easy. It's a good idea too just to rotate your whetstones so you keep them as flat as possible. Okay, so that's how I like to sharpen my knives. Now, finding 3 different grades of leather could be a little bit tough, but I don't have any links for the very specifics on this. I actually got these from my Uncle Kip, and I've been using them actually for several years now, and they work great. If you have a leather store near you, I'm sure you can find some 3 different grades of leather. It's not necessary though, so don't get hung up on the leather. It's not necessary at all. You can just get one veg tan actually. If you get veg tan leather, the heavy tooling leather, that is going to do a great job on the knives. So let's just take a knife here and see how this turned out. Okay, so got a piece of printer paper here, and beautiful. The downside to this is for the next several times I use these, I'll wind up cutting my fingers. But it works great on all the kitchen knives, my pocket knife, hunting knives. It works pretty good on everything. The one thing I'll say is, so they make a tool that will get the angle of your blade, and you can set your blade on the stone, run that across. It's a good learning tool. With a little bit of experience, a little bit of time, you'll kind of figure it out on your own. It's just kind of by feel, and so I would just say, just practice it. You'll get the hang of it. It's not that hard to do. It does take a little bit of time though. But anyways, so for those of you who have asked what I use to sharpen all my knives with, a Whetstone, 1000, 6000, 8000, and 3 grades of leather. But again, don't get hung up on the leather. Tooling leather or veg tan leather will get you right where you need to be. It'll be as sharp as you will ever need that knife to be. So anyways, okay, just playing catch up on videos. So catch you next time. Thanks for watching.